density of lead is 11.34 grams per cubic centimeter. And the questions are, three types of questions are asking: what is the volume given a certain mass? What is the mass given a certain volume? And then what is the volume in cubic meters of 50 pounds of lead? Before we start with any of the calculations, thing we have to understand when we're talking about something like density, something that has compound units that density has, that is a conversion factor. Let's rewrite that. The density for lead, an intensive property, is 11.34 grams per 1 cubic centimeter. This is our conversion factor. Density allows us to convert between mass, specifically in grams, to volume, specifically in cubic centimeters for solid materials. And as with any other conversion factor, I can invert this if I need to, and that's exactly what we're going to do here in this problem to solve for what was being asked. Let's start with 12a, where they're asking for the volume in cubic centimeters of 287 grams of lead. So as usual, we're going to use our three-step approach. We're going to start by writing the measurement given, and the measurement given is 287 grams of lead. That's over 1. Our answer is going to be in cubic centimeters. So we need one or more conversion factors, and since we want to go from grams to cubic centimeters, it should be pretty clear then that the density right here, grams and cubic centimeters, is what we need to make this conversion happen. As always, we need to have our units cancel. Since I have grams upstairs in my measurement, I need grams downstairs in my conversion factor, which means the 11.34 goes downstairs with the grams. 1 cubic centimeter then goes upstairs, grams cancel. And when we now do the conversion, we realize that we're actually dividing the mass given in the problem by the density, and we don't have to figure that out in advance because the units tell us that. So now we do turn on our calculator, we do the division, and we get a volume of 25.3 cubic centimeters of lead. Let's put our PB here as our volume occupied in 287 grams. Three significant figures. Our starting measurement had 3 significant figures. Density is a measurement. It is not an exact number. I've got 4 significant figures in this density value. So my answer has to be 3 significant figures. Let's go to part B now. Part B is pretty much the reverse. I'm going from volume, given volume, 287 cubic centimeters, asked to calculate what is the mass of that volume. So we're going to start with our 287 cubic centimeters of lead. That's over 1. Our answer is going to be in grams of lead. And again, we're going to have our conversion factor, which in this case is density, because I need to convert a volume, cubic centimeters, to a mass, grams. So density comes to our rescue again. We again need to have our units cancel. I have cubic centimeters upstairs in my measurement. I need cubic centimeters downstairs, which means grams goes upstairs. So we have our 11.34 grams upstairs, 1 cubic centimeter downstairs. Cubic centimeters cancel. And now we have grams upstairs for our unit, which is what we want. And now we do the calculation. We're going to get a big number. As we can see, both of these numbers upstairs are pretty big. So we're going to put this right in scientific notation. 3.25 times 10 to the third grams of lead. 3 significant figures. Again, we've got 3 significant figures in our measurement. Our density has 4 significant figures. So our answer, 3 significant figures. Okay, let's move on to our last part, part C. In part C, we're being asked for the volume in cubic meters of 50 pounds of lead. We got 4 significant figures on that 50 pounds. So again, that is our starting point. We rate our 50.00 pounds of PB. That's over 1. Our answer is going to be in cubic meters of lead. Now, the difference here is that we are starting with a weight in the English system. So as a result of that, we are going to have to first make a conversion of pounds to grams. Our conversion here is going to be 1 pound equals 453.59 grams. So we're going to now set this up so that we have grams upstairs. 453.59 grams over 1 pound. Pounds cancel. I now have grams. And we can use our density now to convert grams to cubic centimeters. Seems like we've lost some of our data here. But here's our density right up at the top. Let's circle it again. So our density is 11.34 grams per cubic centimeter. So let's use that. So we're now going to multiply this by 1 cubic centimeter over 11.34 grams. Grams cancel. Let's get rid of our equal sign because we're not done yet. Let's get rid of our cubic meters. We know we're going to get cubic meters. We now have cubic centimeters. We need to convert to cubic meters. I'll just give this to you and then I'll explain how I got it. There are 10 to the 6th cubic centimeters in 1 cubic meter. So I'm going to put 1 cubic meter upstairs and 10 to the 6th cubic centimeters downstairs. My cubic centimeters cancel. I'm left with cubic meters upstairs, which is what I want. So now we turn on the calculator and do the calculation, and we get 2.000 times 10 to the minus 3rd cubic meters. So there's our answer. We do have 4 significant figures in our answer this time. Our starting measurement had 4 significant figures. Density had 4 significant figures. We already know that. And our conversion between pounds and grams had 5 significant figures. So our answer has to have 4 significant figures. Now, how did I know there were 10 to the 6 cubic centimeters in a cubic meter? Well, again, we were going from cubic centimeters to cubic meters. So 1 cubic centimeter equals how many cubic meters? That's our question. We did a problem like this earlier in this workbook, and our conversion here, of course, is 100 centimeters equals 1 meter. Let's ignore the exponent 3 for the time being, and our starting unit, our starting measurement is 1 cubic centimeter. That's over 1. We want our answer in cubic meters. So again, I'm going to have to multiply by my conversion factor, which says 1 meter contains 100 centimeters. But again, there are 3 unit centimeters in the numerator. I need 3 in the denominator. This is only going to cancel 1 of my 3. So I got to do this 2 more times. So I got 1 meter over 100 centimeters. And again, 1 meter over 100 centimeters. Now I've got 1, 2, 3 centimeters downstairs. That cancels my 3 centimeters upstairs. Meters times meters times meters gives me cubic meters. So downstairs, I've got 10 to the 2nd times 10 to the 2nd times 10 to the 2nd, which is equal to 10 to the 6th. So that tells us that we have 10 to the 6th cubic centimeters in 1 cubic meter.